Good morning, everybody. I'm Srikanth. I head operations for AyurUniverse. We are India's largest wellness portal offering preventive wellness, ailment management, online and signature programs in yoga, Ayurveda, and naturopathy for global customers since 2016. We currently host more than 300 wellness centers in India and abroad with a large presence in India and Sri Lanka and Nepal. We are planning for a global presence in the coming years. Customers from more than 65 countries have booked their wellness program through our portal. We are approved by Department of Tourism, Karnataka, Incredible India, and we are a member of Global Wellness Institute, California. Today, we have a webinar in collaboration with Talalla Retreat. We are presenting your topic on Alchemy of the Self, healing through yoga. Just a little bit of introduction about Talalla. It's founded by an Australian, Laurie Rose, who fell in love with the spiritual charm of Sri Lanka. It's a boutique health resort built on sustainable principles, offering yoga, Pilates, boxlates, and surfing. They have sea view villas, luxury bamboo huts, bungalow rooms, and dorms. They offer yoga retreats, wellness retreats, surf camps, surf yoga retreats, meditation, Reiki, and massage. Their featured retreats include Women's Self-Love and Empowerment Retreat. Laurie formed the Talalla support group post the tsunami in 2004. Hundreds of families in the immediate area have found relief, support, and hope. They have been instrumental in starting 2 community centers aligned with the local Buddhist monks. They cater to everything from infant schooling to computer classes. Today, we have 2 special people who are going to be with us. Let me introduce them. Jenna Kruskamp, Wellness Manager at Talalla. She's an outdoor person born on the west coast of Australia, was a senior video producer before transitioning into the health and wellness space, has run health retreats in Australia, Bali, Sri Lanka, before deciding to base at Talalla. She has developed the wellness retreats at Talalla, fusing Western and Eastern approaches to well-being, a continuous learner who enjoys working on herself and sharing her experiences. She's been a retreat facilitator with over 6 years of experience, Astot Pilates instructor, Hatha yoga teacher, Reiki master, meditation guide, and punchfit boxing instructor. Interestingly, she's the creator of boxlates, a fusion format of boxing plus Pilates. Welcome, Jenna. And we also have Ty Fielding. She's a yoga teacher, a very curious student of life, always eager to learn and understand beyond the curtain of physical experience, had the great fortune to learn from many incredible teachers and gurus, has honed her craft and deepened her respect, interest, and experience of yoga and energetic healing, a certified RYT 500-hour yoga teacher and trainer with a deep love for traditional and modern experimental forms of yoga, a skilled practitioner with qualification as a certified Reiki master, energetic healer, educator, and massage therapist. Welcome, Ty. Before I start the main show with my questions, in case I have missed anything while introducing you, can you please add, and then I will follow up with the questions. Ty, have I missed anything on you?
I think you did a perfect job. Thank you.
Thank you. And Jenna?
No, that was a glowing reference. I'll take it.
Fantastic. Now that we have done with the introductions, let us get to the main thing. Jenna, first question I want to ask you, can you please explain to us what a chakra is? What are the different types of chakras and their role in a layperson's language?
Layperson's language, okay. So the chakra system can seem quite esoteric and abstract to many people. And the chakra system is essentially an energy system. So if we look at the physical body, we have a circulatory system where blood vessels pump blood throughout the entire body. When we look at the subtle body, so the energetic body, we're looking at basically the flow of energy through these thousands of different channels, which are called nadis or meridians, and the flow of that energy is chi or prana. So the chakra is a main energy center, where the actual word is in Sanskrit means wheel or circle. And we're looking at how these nadis and this prana, is flowing through these nadis throughout the body. So in short, a chakra system, or the chakra system of the body, is a complex network of energy channels connecting these wheels, and is mapped throughout the whole body, much like a spiritual nervous system, if that makes sense. And yeah, so do you know how many nadis, Shrikant, might make up the energetic body?
I know there are about, I know there's a Ida Nadi, Ida Pingala, and Sushma. Is it? Did I get that right? Okay.
Yeah, you're really rich. Hang on. So they're the three main, but there's actually 72,000 plus.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. All right. Okay.
So yeah, they're the three main ones, where when we look at the chakras, so there's 7 main centers of the body. So the Sushumna Nadi is the spinal column, the center, and Ida is the left and Pingala is the right. So where these intersect up Sushumna Nadi is where the 7 chakras are. So the 7 wheels of energy. And I can take you through each of them very briefly, because we could spend hours on it. Sure. So each chakra has a location. It has a color, a name, an experience or reference, a sound, and an element. So I'm not going to talk about all of those for each, but I'll just mention each one briefly. So at the base of the spine, we have Muladhara chakra, which is our root chakra. This is really the physical body. It's our sense of groundedness, our physical reality. It's also our lowest point in our life. So it conducts our main urges, such as food, sleep, sex, etc. The next one, Shrikant, do you know the next one?
Yeah, so it's the base, and then is it the navel, or just between the navel and is there something between that?
Low, near the pelvis, yeah. Okay, so okay. That's the sacral chakra.
Okay.
So Svadhisthana, and that's our emotional body. It's also our sex center. So yeah, that's where our emotional self is sat, and that energy center of emotional body. The Manipura is the next one up. So that's the one just above the navel. So that's our power center, where we create self-identity, esteem, confidence. It's our real power. So those first 3 are kind of where most of us will be sitting or working with as we channel up through our evolution. We then move up to the one that connects the top 3 and the bottom 3, which is Anahata, my favorite, the heart. So Anahata is, it's the heart. So it's love, compassion, etc. Moving up, we go to the throat chakra, which is Vishuddha, which is, I'm sure you can guess, it would be relating to expression and communication. And the next one up is the third eye between the eyebrows, Ajna. And this is related to our intuition, clarity, our vision. And then we move up to everyone's favorite, which is the hardest to access, is our crown chakra. So this is a center of samadhi, or pure consciousness, depending on what you've studied, yogic texts of what you've studied. But essentially, once you've moved that energy clearly, there's no blockages or obstacles. It's said that the 1,000-petal lotus, and you can see the reality for, pure consciousness. So they're the 7 in short. Right. And we can look at how our lives are manifesting through the chakra system. It will always relate. So if you have a natural loving quality, you're maybe more vibrating from the heart. If you're constantly agitated or have fiery or lack of self-control, you may be more down towards the navel, the power center. So every single chakra has something vital to contribute to our overall well-being. And they're also the storage bank of all of our actions and the mechanism by which karma is created.
All right. Okay. That's an interesting response.
Was that layperson terminology?
Yeah. No, I took a lot of notes. So let me just let me just summarize what my understanding to my own benefit and all the benefit of the audience. So you mentioned that in the physical body, there's a circular system, the blood flowing. And for the spiritual body, there's energy flowing, and chakra is an energy system. Chakra means a wheel, that I understood. You also spoke about nadis. I mean, 72,000 nadis. Oh, that's crazy. And three main. So Ida is left, Pingala is right, and then the one going in the center is Sushma Nadi. You mentioned about 7 different chakras. So you said each chakra has a location, a color, an experience, and sound, and an element. I heard that. And you spoke about the 7 different chakras, the base chakra, the Muladhara, Swasthana for emotion, base for physical, Manipura for power, and then Anaga for your love and compassion, throat, experience, and communication, and third eye for your vision, and the last one, the main one for Samadhi, pure consciousness. Fantastic. Okay, so Sai, I'm going to just pull you into this conversation. Now, you being a yoga expert, right? What I want to know from you, how are the chakras related to asanas and meditation? First, let us know how they are connected to asanas, and then let's talk about meditation.
Great question. Okay, so like Jenna so beautifully described just earlier, when we're looking at the energetic body of where the chakras come from, so the chakras live sort of in that energetic space of body, they're not as tangible as, say, your arms, your legs, your muscles, your bones. And so when it comes to understanding what is balanced, what is out of balance, what is healthy and maybe needs a little bit more love and support, we can't necessarily just go for a blood test or cut the muscle open and understand what's going on. But the ancient rishis of yoga discovered that as humans, we can't operate just from our physical body or just from our mental body or just from our energetic body. In order to have the full human experience, you know, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, we have to cultivate the body, mind, and soul and work with these 3 bodies in unison instead of just one at a time. And so in terms of looking at your energetic body, we might not be able to take a scan and say, oh, okay, so I can see here that the prana isn't spinning as much in my heart chakra as maybe I would like it. However, we are informed by our energetic body to both our emotional body and physical body when we're out of balance. So like Jenna mentioned, if you're a naturally very loving person, it's a good indication that you're quite connected in towards your heart. However, if, say, you're somebody that's very shy and often nervous, second-guessing yourself, or you have a lot of stomach issues, small intestine problems, this is a pretty good indication that your prana is not flowing in the correct balance in your Manipura chakra, the solar plexus, or the energy center of fire and power. And so in terms of healing the physical and emotional status, we can turn to practices such as yoga and specifically asana in order to create pranic flow into that specific area of the body. So if you go to I'm going to say with the Manipura example, if you go to a fire enhancing asana class or Manipura asana class, a lot of the time you'll feel yourself in these specific postures twisting or strengthening the core, building fire. It would be quite a sweaty practice because you're starting to cultivate the tejas, the fire, the power. And so through energetically moving your body and targeting that specific space that corresponds with the energetic body on a physical realm, we're changing the flow of prana, therefore enhancing the energy of the chakra. So I have, there's so many examples, and think to your own practice as well. I know that you practice yoga. You've been practicing for 15 years, and yes. Many of your followers do as well. So for those of you listening at home, think in your asana practice, so your physical posture practice, is there any position that is like specifically challenging or frustrating for you? Do you have any? Do you have one specific?
You're asking me? So
yeah.
No. So for me, the challenging ones are the difficult postures like the vrikshasana, the scorpion. So even sometimes the simple postures like a spinal twist.
Yeah.
See, I can do a headstand for 30 minutes. I find it difficult to do a spinal twist for like 1 minute.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting. So we can look at that, say. So
Yeah.
stands, they correspond with the energy center of turning your vision, changing from your human lens into that more profound, higher vibration, working with the Saraswaha chakra, the crown. And so maybe for you, this is the part of you that you're really interested in and you like. And so you might be more connected in towards that energetic space where the twist comes down into towards, again, the Manipura.
Oh,
and this
okay.
is a human-like space, but it's also our space of joining the two bodies. So joining the physical and the emotional. So maybe through that investigation, you can understand that the energy of joining and uniting the lower frequency chakras and the higher frequency chakras is what you want to focus on. So involving twists, even though they're not your favorite things. So challenging yourself to do more twists, to do more feet balance positions, and you can start to balance your energy into supporting that area of your body a little bit more.
Fantastic. I it was so insightful. I never realized that the asanas have so much of connection with the chakra. See, for me, when I tell people that I can do a headstand and I can do a scorpion without a problem, and when I tell them, hey, I find it difficult to do a peacock or the mayurasana, they're like, how is that possible? So now I can make the connection. So what you're telling is asana is a tool to move your pranic energy to the chakra. Is that what I understand? Fantastic. Okay, now I've learned something very, very useful. Fantastic. Okay, Jana, I'm going to just bring you in and ask this question. Tai also mentioned about the 4 different dimensions of physical, mental, and emotional connection. You also spoke about the heart being related to love and passion and emotions and stuff like that. The question I want to ask you is, how does one use this to handle negative emotions like stress, anger, depression, and so on?
Yeah. So I'll call them difficult emotions.
Okay. All right.
Because they're rather than negative, but that's just personal. So yeah, as Tai mentioned, the energetic body communicates to us through our physical and emotional body. So I mean, when we're talking about stress, for example, it's important to understand what stress is. So many of us are not really clear on identifying stress in ourselves. So stress is a mental or a psychological response towards an adverse or challenging situation, person, or object. However, each person reacts differently to a similar situation, just like you might be getting worked up if you're running late for something, whereas I might be like, yeah, cool, I get there when I get there. Yeah. So how much stress we can tolerate as individuals depends on our physical health, our mental state, of course, our psychological condition. But what we're not known to many is that it also depends on the conditions of our chakra system, our energy system. So if you can understand this chakra system a little bit, when you experience a difficult emotion, you can utilize techniques to work through what that energy center is providing you, move that prana, etc. For example, if we're feeling unworthy or disempowered in a relationship, I would work on, as Tai mentioned, your power center, your Manipura. We have an example like at Talalla Retreat. We have a lot of women come through the center. As you mentioned, one of our feature retreats is about women empowerment and healing. But we had, an example not so long ago about with a guest who was experiencing, so that she had a very disempowering relationship where she really struggled with her communication and self-worth. she really felt unworthy and struggled in the relationship. And the organ of the heart is the skin. And she was actually having breakouts on her skin, eczema, etc., every time she was in his presence or dealing with him. And so working on that, she was able to, identifying that in relation to, so understanding that helped her. So through journaling and other activities, yoga asana, through the practice of meditation as well, heart openers, hip openers, she was able to resolve that relationship, and then her skin condition actually resolved itself as well. So we can have these physical manifestations of stress in the body. It's really helpful to introduce tools, as mentioned, and Ty mentioned as well. So journaling can really help work through that yoga asana, affirmations, body awareness, essential oils. I'm sure you've heard about sound healing. Reiki, pranic healing. They're all modalities and activities that can help you tap into the energetic body and deal with your emotional self or difficult emotions and stress. Is there anything for you actually, Shrikant, that you're going through at the moment that you're finding difficult or challenging?
Oh,
yeah, sorry, I was. So I'm right now, I won't say, yeah, when I say difficult, I want to get about 7 hours of sleep. However, I end up getting only 6.5 or 6 hours of sleep. Though I feel fresh after that, I would like to have that uninterrupted 7 hours of sleep, which I'm not getting.
You only lost half an hour. That's nothing. I'm only getting 5 hours of sleep if I'm lucky because I have a 4-month-old baby.
Yeah, that is because you have a small baby.
Yeah, I'm jealous. So yeah, calming the central nervous system with sleep is obviously helpful.
Yeah.
But you could look at what's waking you from that 6.5 hours, and look at the areas around that, and then relate that to potentially, are you overthinking? Are you very mind heavy when you wake up?
Yeah.
At 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
So do you think it is also possible that, because I'm a very, very action oriented person, so I wake up in the morning, I do my workout, I run, I come back, blah, blah, work, and just till the time I go to sleep, I'm like busy. I'm very, very busy. So do you think that also can contribute? My personal thinking is, okay, I'm so busy, I'm working so hard, I'm like, body is tired, mentally I'm like nagged out, I should get sleep, right? So it doesn't happen.
Yeah. So what it sounds like to me is that you're really good at being a human doing.
Okay.
And maybe not so successful at doing a human being, which is
okay.
We're called human beings for a reason, but a lot of us are very good at being human doing.
Yeah. Okay, human doing and not human being. That's a good one.
Yeah. And what I was going to refer to then is that maybe stress, particularly mental stress, if we're constantly going, it can be experienced through a lack of conscious awareness or presence.
Okay.
So you may find in your day that your little things, such as we may be talking to each other right now, but you're thinking about the next question, or you're going future, or you're considering what's just happened in the past. If you can practice presence, it can be a very helpful tool in becoming more of a human being.
Wow.
You're now in the present moment.
Presence. Okay. Cool. That's a good one. Practice presence. Okay. Go on. I'm just taking notes.
Yeah. So conscious awareness or practicing presence is really about going inwards.
Okay.
With our emotions and experiences, and practicing this practice of being aware of not attaching as well. So, we might say, I am angry. I'm angry. But then you're owning that. You are saying that you are the emotion. Now, an emotion is just energy in motion, right?
Okay.
So what we want to get more aware of or practice in conscious awareness is not identifying with the emotion, but saying we're feeling anger. So I'm feeling anger, but I'm not anger. I am not the emotion. So detaching from that. And that in itself is a simple practice, that can bring an abundance of stress relief just through that. Not attaching and being, I am angry, because then you are angry. Yeah, I'm feeling anger, but I'm not angry.
Oh, fantastic. Whoa. All right. So you spoke about, it's a great example that you give. So what is playing emotionally for that particular guest that you had? Emotionally was showing physically, and that's why she was getting the break in the skin and things like that. And you also said writing a journal, uh, affirmations, Reiki healing, sound healing, pranic healing, and things like that can definitely help. Yeah, the I asked you I asked you about negative emotion. You just reframed it for me. It's a difficult a difficult emotion.
Do you
All
also
right.
really feel better about difficult emotions now rather than calling them negative though?
Yeah. Negative itself is negative. See, difficult means it's a challenge. Challenge is an opportunity to improve. Negative means it's negative. I understood that. Okay, and beautifully said. Emotion is energy in motion, and this is the first time I heard somebody saying you are a human doing, not a human being. It's like, wow. I mean, you showed a mirror to me. Okay, I need to work on that. All right. Okay, so you spoke about practicing presence to maintain healthy mind. Do you want to speak a little bit more on that?
Yeah. So I mean, I did touch on it before. So if we consider that, I think Osho has a quote where he says the whole this external world is only a projection of what you are within. So
Wow.
if we work on within, then
Okay.
we can detach from mind is not controlling us, ego not controlling us. And the practice of presence is really, as I mentioned, it's not most humans are never really fully present in the now because we unconsciously believe that we need to be to the next moment, that the next moment is more important than this moment right now. So if as I mentioned, you find yourself, you might be talking to someone, and rather than really listening to them, you're thinking about what you're going to say next or what you might want to have for dinner or, anything. It's the same as if you were maybe having breakfast and you're thinking about what you need to do for the rest of the day. It's not that that isn't a viable thing, but that you're not being fully present in the now. And that's the conscious awareness that I mentioned before. So that practice, whether it's being consciously aware of you're eating, so you chew slowly, you taste it, you notice your breath. Meditation is another prime example. They're all practices of being more present or consciously aware in our day-to-day lives. Breath work and yoga is, as Ty will explain, are just more pivotal ways of being present as well. It forces you to be present. You can't escape.
Fantastic. So what I'm understanding from what you're saying right now is, if you're a person who is able to multitask, it is not a good thing.
Well, not necessarily. It's a great skill to have.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily going to bring you into a present moment. No.
Okay. I got that. And you also mentioned about this quote, external world is a projection, is what is within. And did you mention somebody who quoted this?
Osho.
Sure. Okay. All right. Okay. I heard it like Eckhart Tolle or something like that. Anyway. Okay.
Great quotes.
Yeah. No, because he's written a book on the power of now, which talks about presence and lot to do with that. Okay, Ty, let me invite you to the conversation. What I want to ask you is, this is a very important question. Okay, how does one find deeper presence through yoga? And the bigger question is, how can one make it part of their day-to-day life?
Yeah, I like that, deeper presence. And yeah, so yoga as itself is such a vast practice. There's so many practices under the umbrella of yoga, and so it can be very confusing as to understanding what yoga is, how do we find that vast presence, and how do we experience ourselves in a way that's going to enhance our abilities of focus and coming inward. Now, one of the most profound descriptions of yoga that I've been taught, and that more and more that I practice, and through self-study have really started to feel this, is that yoga is a tool to find your innermost self. So you may have heard the saying, I am a spiritual being living a human existence. And in this human existence, we're collecting experiences, memories, accumulation of stuff that become essentially our ego. The names that we call ourselves, the families that we belong to, the things that we enjoy, the things that we don't enjoy, all of these things, these little boxes of storage of information of who you are and who I am, start to become our identification. And behind all of these labels is actually that pure space of consciousness. The more and more that we buy into this idea, like what Jenna said, that we're human doings, we are what we're doing, rather than being in that presence of experience, the more and more that we buy into these labels, the less connected to the pure self we become. And so really the practice of yoga is getting rid of the cobwebs so that we can become that pure light underneath all of this stuff, all of the things that we've created. And so when we're coming in towards the deeper presence is simply being. It's sitting, you know, maybe at the end of your yoga practice, you're going to meditation, and that's maybe the first moment of the day or the week, depending on how frequently you practice, that you actually feel like clear. And through these different practices under the umbrella of yoga, we're starting to come back into the self. So we're practicing the art of presence. Now, you might be aware of the Yoga Sutras, yeah?
I've heard of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. How many are there? Some 1,000? I don't know.
Yeah, there's many. You want all of them, right?
No, all that I know is out of the several, whatever number that is, there are very few for the yoga asanas for the physical body. There are like multiple, I mean, many folds for the spiritual, or what do you call it? Yeah, maybe spiritual.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so in the Yoga Sutras, there's a specific section where Patanjali goes into describing the practices of yoga through the 8 limbs of yoga. So essentially 8 steps. If we want to think of it as a beginner's guide to yoga, it's a really beautiful breakdown of what is actually involved in the full practice of yoga. And asana, the physical practice, is only one of these 8. So it's 1/8 of the practice of yoga. And the practice of yoga begins with moral discipline, with the ability to be a kind person, to be truthful, and practicing your morals of loving all sentient beings, of being a decent person, of looking after yourself and the environment and all of the people that come along with that. That's really the most, in my opinion, one of the most advanced practices to have, that even when your emotions take over and you're feeling angry or you're feeling disrespected, to come back in towards that alignment of understanding and compassion. This is a practice of yoga. You don't have to be in your stretchy lycra outfit to be able to touch your toes, to actually practice being kind, to be practicing ahimsa, that kindness. And then he goes on to explain, so the yamas, the niyamas are a little bit more of self-care, looking after yourself. And then we step in towards the 3rd limb, which is asana. And that's the physical body. And the reason that we have asana is not to be a very impressive Instagram yogi and have incredible, one-handed handstands. It's to be able to come into meditation and realization of your human existence, to be able to feel your body, make your body comfortable, a space of peace, so that when it comes to sitting down in Sukhasana, cross-legged position, that you've done the work, you've cleared the mind, your body is comfortable, and you're able to come into that clear stream of consciousness. We then go into to pratyahara, which is withdrawal of the senses. So you can feel that in shavasana when you're lying down on your back. You're maybe not in, the most impressive position, but in my opinion, this is the most impressive position, because if you can just lie there with absence of the mind, that's when you're alive. That's when you're actually living in the vibration of being a sentient being. That's when you are real. That's when you're you, without all of the extra frills and stuff. And finally, the meditation, the practice of meditation leading into samadhi, which is the pure consciousness. And it's in my opinion, samadhi isn't a state of being Buddha when you're completely enlightened. It's that moment, maybe it's a precise, tiny moment, like a second in your meditation where everything's clear. That's samadhi. Maybe there's a moment when you're with someone that you love so much and you feel comfortable and you feel absolutely clear of any thought or worry. That's samadhi. And so yoga is allowing us to experience these tiny little micro moments of presence through its practices that it provides, through its discipline that it provides. I hope that makes a bit of sense.
Oh, yeah. It made a lot of sense. So I'm just coming back to Jenna, because this being in present kind of, she showed the mirror to me, so I need to ask this question. Okay, I am an ultra marathon runner, Jenna. So I love running. So I can run like the longest run that I have done is like for 8 hours, 45 minutes in a forest. Yeah, in a forest. I mean, it's an ultra run. It was somewhere, if you know the landscape of India, this place called Malnad. It's coffee plantation. So it's a trail. So you keep running, and just run. So if I'm running without thinking, the only thing that I'm thinking is I take one foot and the next foot ahead of that. That's all I'm thinking. Okay. Can I say I'm meditating?
Sure, I'd call that movement as meditation.
Okay.
So when you're fully aware of if you can feel the ground underfoot, if you're feeling your body making the moves, you're observing the trees, but you're not necessarily labeling or identifying things, and you're fully in your moment and you're not thinking future and you're not thinking past as you're running, that's a form of being present in what you're doing. It's a form of movement meditation, in my opinion. I believe it was Osho in one of his books as well. Sorry to re-quote him or reframe him, but there was a story where there was I'm just going off the cuff here, but it was a story where it was the first time they experienced or a story where someone experienced what full presence in yoga and union it was, and it was this woman sewing yarn, and she was so precisely specifically and present with what she was doing that it was so beautiful. And that's all she was doing, is precisely sewing this yarn, fully in the moment. Nothing was distracting her. And that was when they fully recognized what presence was. And that was meditation. That was yoga. So yeah, if you're not thinking forward and you're not thinking back, that's my motto.
Right.
It's a form of meditation. So run away.
Yeah. So I understood. So if while you're running, you just think about running, and you feel the earth below your feet. And if you're running for the joy, without looking at the watch, then you are meditating.
Not looking at the watch. It's the same as when you meditate. You have a loss of body outline, loss of time, and loss of environment.
Yeah.
That's when you're really present.
Right.
Same as if you're running.
So there is a question which has come from one of the viewers. The question, any one of you can take this question. The question is, Jenna or Thai, how much diet plays a part in self-healing through yoga?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So the way that I'm going to answer it is, Jenna can answer it in a more scientific way, but I'm going to from a very yogic point of view. You are what you
do. Yoga, so you're right.
Yeah. So she's supposed to answer. It was directed to her, I guess. Yeah.
So food comes with its frequency, like how we all have our own frequency. Food has a different amount of frequency as well. So if you're eating higher vibrational foods like fruit and vegetables, which are grown preferably without pesticides, that when you take this food in, you're also eating its frequency. If you're eating highly processed food, the frequency will be dramatically lower. And therefore, it won't be enhancing you with as much energy and as much life, essentially prana, as if you're eating the natural foods. Jenna mentioned that when you're actually eating for each chakra body, so this is a really fascinating experiment that you can do with yourself. Say you're suffering with, well, not suffering, but experiencing discomfort in your ability of feeling stable or grounded or even belonging. Things that you can eat to harness that energy is foods that come directly from the soil. So like root vegetables, beetroots, potatoes, pumpkins, anything that's been grown and harvested underneath the earth. Now, if you are someone that's feeling really heavy and you want to rise more towards the energetic body, eating fruits that come from a higher space of the tree. And so eating like berries and things like that's going to change the frequency of how your energy absorbs.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Wow.
And nature is so clever. Nature has back.
Yeah, nature is clever, isn't it? Okay, so sorry, I wanted to summarize, but I forgot. So I asked this question, how you can practice being in the present. Yeah. So I asked the question, you also responded. And what you said is something interesting. We are spiritual being living in a human experience. And we have to get rid of the cobwebs. And you spoke about Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, and I said my knowledge is very, very limited about the 8 limbs. And you also told different steps. One is to be a kind person, be a truthful person, and then look after yourself. And asanas is not about doing the difficult postures. It is a mechanism to get your body prepared to meditate, and eventually the ultimate objective is to attain samadhi. That's what you said. You also mentioned if you can sit in an easy pose, suhasana, that itself is a great thing. Yeah. So talking about being in present. So we have about another 15 to 20 minutes. I actually want one of you, I don't know who is going to bite the bullet, if one of you can take us through a real experience, a live experience of pranayama. I don't know whether you can do the yogasana. If you can do the asana, pranayama, and the meditation in maybe about 15 minutes, it'd be fantastic. I'll let you decide. So you know what is Chinese volunteering? So Chinese volunteering is volunteering somebody else. You can do that also.
All right, Jen, did you want me to take this one?
Yeah, I think if you wanted to teach we can play with the Nadi Shodhana, so the balancing of Ida Pingala as a pranayama exercise, and then guide the meditation that we can move through the chakras. How does that sound, Shrikant? Fantastic.
All right, I'm ready. I'm all ready. I'm all set. I'm in my easy pose now.
Yeah, it's get in your easy pose, your comfortable position. If you're on a chair, feet flat on the ground. So yeah. So just sit nice and comfortable. And we're going to experiment with, as Jenna mentioned, the Ida and the Pingala Nadi. So the Ida, we can think of our feminine energy, and the Pingala, the masculine energy. So to begin with, I'd like you to take your hands open on your lap. I'll bring them up to the screen so you can just see mine for an example. And close your hands. And then on your next inhalation, open your left hand and imagine yourself breathing from your left palm all the way up your left arm in towards your heart. And as you exhale, close your left hand and imagine yourself breathing from your heart all the way down your right arm out of your right hand. You can close your eyes when you're ready, inhaling in through the right hand, all the way up through the right arm into the heart, creating the visualization. Closing the right, opening the left, exhaling from the heart all the way down the arm out to the palm. Now imagine a white light flowing from the left palm all the way into the heart on the inhalation. Exhale, close the left palm, open the right palm, and imagine that light flowing from the right arm all the way out of the arm. Inhale, sensing the breath coming through the right palm, the Pingala Nadi, up the right side of the body into the heart space. Closing the right palm, opening the left, exhaling from the heart all the way down out of the Ida Pingala, the left palm. Let this become a little more organic now. Really sensing the light, the envisionment of breath flowing up the arm into the heart space. Exchanging hands out of the right arm, out of the right palm. Sense the energy drawing up through the right arm, out of the left palm. As you inhale, imagine the light becoming pink, traveling into the heart. And as you exhale through the right, imagine the color green. Visualizing the pink light into the right palm to the center of the chest. And as you exhale through the left, out of the arm, the color green. Inhaling through the left palm, the color pink. Exhaling the right, the color green. Inhale through the right arm, the color pink. The left arm and palm, the color green. Release both palms, release this practice, and just find your breath for a moment. Sense the breath centering down low in towards the diaphragm and expanding into the back of the lungs. As you exhale, feel the back of the lungs releasing and the breath falling all the way down to the diaphragm, the belly. Sensing this breath once again, noticing the sensation of the breath as the prana fills you, as it expands you. Sense the sensation as it releases you. Once again, notice the sensation as the breath fills your vessel, your body, expands you. And sense as the breath releases you, surrenders from you. We're now taking this practice a little bit further by rising the right hand up towards the face and placing the right thumb over the right nostril, the index finger, the middle finger into the palm of the hand, and the ring finger presses on the crease of the left nasal. Close the right nostril and imagine the light as you inhale coming in through the left nostril up to the third eye. And as you exhale from the third eye out of the right nostril, open the right nostril, close the left. Imagine this gentle stream of light, inhaling through the right nostril, the Pingala Nadi, rising to the third eye. Exhale from the third eye, close the right nostril, open the left. Exhale, Ida Nadi. Inhale the left. Exhale the right. And to your greatest ability, imagine this gentle light, inhaling through the nasal all the way to the third eye. Imagine the light exiting the third eye out of the left nostril. Inhaling the left. Exhaling the right. Continue this practice and become curious. What is the sensation of the nasal cavity as you inhale through the right? And as you exhale through the left, noticing the sensations of heat, the sensations of left and right, blockages and flows. And enjoying one more full round. And on the exhalation on the left nostril, allow the hands to release down to the knees when you are ready. Start to sense the Shushumna Nadi, the base of the tailbone, carrying all the way to the top of the crown. And as you exhale, the top of the crown all the way down to the base of the spine. Every time a thought starts to arise, gently welcome it to release. Knowing that thoughts will always be there and you can come back to it when you need. For now, sense the breath. Gently placing both of your hands over the pubic area down towards the pubic bone. And imagine a red light sitting underneath the palms. And as you inhale, sense this red light expanding as though it was your lung. And as you exhale, feel the light compressing, as though this red light was pulsating underneath the palms, just as your lungs. Moving the hands up a little higher towards the sacrum and envisioning underneath the palms an orange light. And as you inhale to the sacrum, imagine this orange ball expanding. And as you exhale, this orange ball compressing. Underneath the hands, sensing this orange light of abundance. This is our creative center, our space of connection. Moving the hands up towards the stomach, the solar plexus, and sensing underneath the palms the yellow ball of light expanding white underneath your hands. Really vision this ball. And releasing the ball, compressing the ball. Engaging a full breath into the solar plexus, inhaling, the yellow ball expands. The fire, the willpower, the confidence. And exhale. Moving hands up into the heart area. And as you inhale, sense a green ball expanding underneath your hands, growing this green light bright and abundant. And compressing this green light. Sensing the sensations of the heart as you breathe into this green light, expanding and compressing. Hands moving up to the throat, gently placing the hands over the throat and envisioning a beautiful light blue light, a ball of light underneath the palms. Inhale, expand this ball of light, vast. The blue light ball compresses just as your lungs expand and compress. Feel the energy of the throat chakra expanding in clarity, in abundance. And placing the hands over the third eye to the place of the forehead. And as you inhale, a violet ball expands underneath your palms and compresses. And really use your imagination, your sense of visualization, the potency of imagery. Expand. Release. Sliding the hands just above the crown, about 1 centimeter away from your skull. And feel a white ball of light of abundance expanding into your palm. And compressing, just like a set of healthy lungs. And radiating the hands up towards the ceiling, feeling the aura field expanding with your palms. Inhale. And as you exhale, draw the hands together in prayer hands. And draw the hands to the center of your chest. Take a little moment to observe your sensations without labels, just the sensations. Gently rubbing the palms together, the left and the right hand, draw friction, heat. Placing the warmed hands over your closed eyes. Open your closed eyes behind the palms into the darkness of your hands. Rotate your eyeballs 3 times to the left, connecting into the Ida Pingala, the divine feminine. And 3 times to the right, the divine masculine, Pingala Nadi. And gently bringing the hands to the center of the heart in prayer and bowing down towards your fingertips. Taking a moment to notice the earth underneath your feet, maybe the chair underneath your bottom. Krishnamacharya teaches that a real practitioner of yoga breathes from their feet. So start to tap into that foot breathing. The full embodiment of your breath, of your prana. And when you feel good, slowly blinking the eyes open if they're closed.
Wow. What an experience. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you
You're so welcome.
So beautiful. It's very beautiful. So I realized what Jenna said about the different colors for different chakras. So you started with the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and white. Right? If I remember that right.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And just the practice
It's an awesome experience. Yeah. So I have done the alternate nostril breathings many times.
Mm.
I never done this where you imagine a color energy flowing to the third eye and then flowing out. So it's a great learning for me. I'm just going to practice this. It was a fantastic experience.
Oh,
Fantastic experience. So we are actually on time. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we say goodbye to the viewers? Because I had an amazing time. Amazing time. Thank you so much. Jenna, do you want to have your parting words before you say goodbye to the viewers? Jenna?
Yeah, just thank you for allowing us to be involved, and hopefully Talalla is reopened, but hopefully Sri Lanka reopens their borders soon and we can welcome guests back to Talalla once more. So
Yeah.
thank you.
So let's the international borders open. I will schedule my trip. I visit Sri Lanka once in a year, so maybe this year I couldn't do it. Next year I'll come. I keep going through Talalla many times. I've never visited that place. So next time, for
Thanks,
sure, I'm going to be there. I'm going
oh,
to be there to meet Jenna and Ty. Ty, do you have any parting words, Ty, before we say goodbye to the viewers?
oh no, just thank you so much for having us. It's been such a pleasure to get to know you. You're such an amazing, insightful person. And it really has been such a gift for us to be able to connect to you and all the beautiful things that you're doing for this world. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Namaste, Aiboan, and goodbye.
Stay on.
Everyone.
All right. Okay.